Morning learner, welcome to Computer System Servicing NC2. Today's lesson focuses on 5S principle, which is on quarter 3, module 10. After completing this lesson, you should be able to: number 1, define the 5S principle. Number 2, explain the 5S principles. And number 3, appreciate the importance of 5S principle. Before we proceed with our topic, let's have first our pretest. All you have to do is read its statement below carefully. Write T if the statement is true, and write F if the statement is false. I'll be giving you 5 seconds to think of your answer. Question number 1. 5S helps facilitate prevent loss efficiency from disrupted work or unplanned downtime by offering a systematic structure for organization and cleanliness. The answer is true. Number 2. Sort or Satan, which translates to tidiness, is the first phase in the 5S method. The aim of the sort step is to remove clutter and clean up room by eliminating items that do not belong in the place. The answer is false. Question number 3. Take a close look at the objects, equipment, and materials in a working area for this move. Things that are required or useful in that room for the work being done should be kept here. The answer is true. Question number 4. Initially, the second step, set an order, was called sayeri, which translates to orderliness. In English, for example, a variety of names were used in systematic arrangement, straightening out, and simplifying. Answer is false. Question number 5. Standardized or Shiketsu is the fourth level, which simply means standardization. You will integrate the latest methods in standard work practices by writing down what is being done, when, and by whom. It paves the way for long-term transformation. Answer is true. Before we proceed with our topic, let's have first a recap of our first past discussion. In the previous module, we have learned how to create modular box tables. We are made aware that for telephone systems, data networks, and low-speed serial connections, modular connectors are widely used. These connectors are cheap, easy to plug and unplug, and relatively easy to terminate. Usually, a modular connector has a transparent plastic shell with a tab that when linked locks the plug and jack into place. They are called RJ45 in the vernacular used by the technology industry. We also learned to the scheme called the Universal Service Order Code, or the USOC. Use designations to indicate the capacities of jacks in a building that started with letters RJ and how they should be wired to connect to the public telephone network. Usually, RJ plug connections are terminated using a special tool to crimp the connector onto a cable conductor. These ties are often made for convenience in the field. However, the best performance is usually provided by a factory assembled RJ cable. With this, you can now create modular box cable. This module tackles about 5S principles, where you will know the steps of 5S and its explanation. Today's discussion will focus on the 5S principles. 5S principles describe as a methodology that results in a clean, uncluttered, safe, and well-organized workplace that helps to minimize waste and maximize productivity. It is built both physically and mentally to help create a quality work environment. The 5S framework is a lean manufacturing system that increases productivity. Sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. 5S helps facilities prevent lost efficiency from disrupted work or unplanned downtime by offering a systematic structure for organizations and cleanliness. In Japan, 5S was created and the original S words were in Japanese. The English translations can differ for each or the 5 measures. However, it is easy to understand the basic ideas and the ties between them. The 5 is a step. Step name. 1. Sort. Japanese term, tidiness. An explanation, remove any unnecessary things from its area. Set in order. Japanese term, Satan or orderliness. Explanation, organization and detection of storage for productive use. The next is the shine, or say so, or cleanliness in Japanese term. Regularly clean and inspect each area. Next is standardized, or seketsu in Japanese term. In its explanation, incorporate 5S into traditional operating processes. The last one is sustain, or shizuke in Japanese term. Explanation, assign liability, track progress, and continue the cycle. Step 1. Sort. Sort or Zairu, which translates to tidiness, is the first phase in the 5S method. The aim of the sort step is to remove clutter and clean up room by eliminating items that do not belong in the place. Step 2. Set an order. Initially, the second step, set an order, was called Seiton, which translates to orderliness. In English, for example, a variety of names are used. Systematic arrangement, straightening out, or simplified. No matter what it's called, the steps aim to organize the field of work. It should be easy to locate, use, and return each item, a place for all and everything in its place. Step 3. Shine. While the first and second steps cleaned up space and structured the area for performance, this step targets the dirt and grime that eventually builds up under the clutter and works to prevent it from coming back. The third step of 5S is shine or say so, which means cleanliness. Step 4. Standardize. The basics of clearing, arranging, and cleaning of a workspace are addressed in the first 3 stages of 5S. Those steps would have short-term benefits on their own. Standardized or Shikitsu is the fourth level, which simply means standardization. We will integrate the latest methods into standard work processes. By writing down what is being done, when and by whom, it paves the way for long-term transformation. Step 5. Sustain. Sustain a shitsuke rather, this literally means discipline, is the 5 days in a 5S program. The definition here is continuing dedication. In an ongoing period, it is necessary to follow through on the decisions you have made and constantly return to the earlier steps of 5S. To wrap up our lesson, this module talks about the 5S principle. The 5S strategy was never intended to be a one-time action, but a continuing series. This is significant since early achievements in 5S can pave the way for problems. In the third process, if open space becomes unusable, but afterwards, tools and materials can fill space gradually without any coordination. The result may be an even greater mess. As a regular part of normal work, the solution is to apply the 5S ideas over and over. That is why it is so important to keep up. In addition, 5S shows us how to plan a task, quality and efficiency room by identification and recycling of used products, maintenance of the region and goods, and maintenance of the new order. Of the points mentioned above, please answer this following question. Would you be able to make use of this knowledge obtained in this module? In what scenario will it be? Will you apply it personally or in the future when you are already working for a company? What scenario would be? Are valuing? Read and answer the following questions carefully in 2 to 3 sentences, each number. Question number 1. What do you think are the importance of learning the 5S principle? Number 2. How will you use the knowledge you acquired about 5S principle? Number 3. Type a situation in which you can apply the knowledge of understanding 5S principle. Task for today to answer the worksheet number 10. That's all for today. Happy learning!